great.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just from a prop perspective, I couldn't really find much, and it's 10 games, and I'm sitting here
I
like,
know.
am I doing something wrong? But no, I mean, there's so many questions, so many ins and outs every day.
There's we're live, by the way. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you all enjoyed your Thursday night. Tough night for the NBA. My only bet I gave out was Jazz, and it lost, as I said last night. But not only that, I think a lot of people were looking forward to the Lakers-Celtics game, and then LeBron and Anthony Davis end up sitting. Then the Celtics, who are supposed to be the best team in the NBA, look like they probably shouldn't even be in the playoffs. It's just a poor effort. Weird night. Guy Boston Sports is here. I'm sure you all know him, judging by the view counts on YouTube. I'm sure most of you already know who it is. His first time joining us on the show. I'm excited to have another person that does picks against the spread, because usually Jay Briggs is the only guy I get on here that also does that with me. So we'll make some picks against the spread. First up, Heat at Wizards. Let's get the poll running. Heat -8, Wizards +8. Over 227.5, under 227.5. Prop Beaver, I know you said you're not thrilled with the slate. Do you have something to kick us off with here?
Yes, I do have something to kick us off with here. I tweeted at 109.5 and moved up a point since Poole got ruled in. I don't care. I'm taking the Washington team total under 110.5. Admittedly, this year haven't had the best luck with the team totals. Just gonna put my hand up and say that right now, but I'm looking to turn that around here. This Heat team just snapped a 7-game losing streak. They need to pile up the wins. I don't think they're going to take this one lightly, and I just hate the matchup for the Wizards offensively here. They're a team that thrives in transition, 6th in frequency, 4th in efficiency this season. Excellent, but the Heat defense has been great at limiting transition, 7th in both frequency and efficiency this year, so that's tough for the Wizards. On top of that, this is a Wizards team that over the last 10 days has attempted 10 games, has attempted the third most field goal attempts within 8 feet of the basket. Over their last 10, the Heat are allowing the 7th fewest field goals made within 8 feet of the basket at the 6th lowest efficiency in the league. And then I looked at the pace numbers for Washington against teams that are in the bottom 6 of pace. Like the Heat are. They're 6-1 to the under, averaging 106 points per game. If you look at the teams who are in the bottom 10 in pace, excluding the Hornets, because the Wizards played them in November, all 3 of their games, and LaMelo was playing, and they were top 5 in pace at the time. Take the Hornets out, and against the the bottom 10 in pace, the Wizards are 12-2 to the team total under, averaging 103 points per game. This Heat team is much better on the road defensively, 4th in efficiency. And I think we're catching a bit of a discount here because they had 114 at Miami earlier this season. I just think that this is a few points too high. Definitely taking the under here, especially with Bagley out. Bagley has been great for them.
You just took all my notes. Honestly, I would lean Heat here for the same reason. I like that last thing you said. When they play a team that's in the bottom 10 of the pace, you take them out of their element and don't let them get out in transition. There's not much this Wizards team can do to hurt you. And another thing you said that was spot on to what I have. The Heat somehow the last month and a half have been great protecting the rim. And the reason I said somehow is because that's not how it was to start the season. Even when the Heat were on that losing streak, their defensive numbers at the basket were good. So 2 things the Washington Wizards love to do: push the tempo and run the fast break and attack the basket. Playing into 2 extreme strengths for the Heat defensively. I'm a little torn, though, because if you subscribe to this channel, you know that I absolutely hate laying 5 or more points with the Heat. I mean, laying a big number with the Heat is a suicide mission. Haven't bet this yet. I didn't put it on the ticket, but I'm strongly considering it. I like Prop Beaver's bet. It's kind of in line with what I'm thinking, so it gives me a little more confidence. Boston, what about you?
So, I mean, this is kind of the epitome of today's slate. I feel like it's a line that is a questionable line. I mean, you have 2 teams that you don't really love betting on. If you are going to bet this game, you got to choose one of them in a sense. I'm with you on leaning towards Miami minus the points. I don't love it because it's like too many points to lay as Miami, not nearly enough to give the Wizards either. So it's kind of my thought process. But I'm actually looking towards the under in the game overall right now. Sloppy basketball, slow pace. Even though the Wizards play with overall, I guess, an up-tempo sort of pace of play, it's not good pace. It's not efficient basketball. It's bad field goal percentage, everything like that. So I'll lean towards the under. I don't think that this is something that I'm running to the register to try and place, and it's kind of just like a definition of what a lot of this slate is today. Big number. Can you really trust that number with it? But Yeah, that's where my head's at here.
100%. And it seems like we're all on the same page here. He's got the leaning towards the under. I'm leaning towards Heat -8, and Prop Beaver's on Washington team total under. So we're all kind of
covered the game pretty well.
Yeah, we're all circling the same idea here. Also, when no one mentioned, Wizards at home, I think it was 5-16 against the spread in their last 21 at home. So Wizards at home, that's also been a death sentence trying to bet that team at home. So our poll, 45% to 32% in favor of Miami. So community's leaning towards the Heat as well. Let's move on to another game. But spoilers, there's a lot of them like these that are just ugly looking. And here we are. Exhibit A, we arrive at Clippers on the road in Detroit. The graphic says 11.5, but I'm pretty sure this is at 12 now, right, Prop Beaver?
Yes, consensus 12.
Yeah, so this must have moved right after. Actually, I saw this one bouncing around a little bit. So over 238.5, under 238.5. And I'll go first because I have about 3 sentences to say, maybe less. Sentence number 1, I will not lay this many points to a red-hot Pistons as far as the team that's covering the number. Pistons are it, man. Like, they continue to cover the number. Now, the Clippers have been really good on the road, and obviously they've been machines. I just tried this, fading the Clippers, taking a big number with a home dog with the Wizards game the other night. And if you look at the final score, it looks like I was close. Actually, I forget who it was. Dude missed a wide open 3 that would have gave me the backdoor cover. But the truth is, I watched most of that game. I didn't deserve the cover. Clippers dominated. That being said, the Wizards at home trying to take the big number with them, and the Pistons at home, 2 completely different animals. Pistons are playing with an energy right now. I think everyone has kind of caught on to it. I'm sure there's a lot of people. You can see we're polling over 50% Pistons. So the community's betting Detroit here. This is another one that didn't make my ticket. I don't really love fading the Clippers, but at plus 12, how do you not take a team? What are they, 7-1, 8-1 against the spread in their last 8 or 9? No way. Detroit plus 12 or pass for me. Prop Beaver, anything?
I don't know if that was 3 sentences.
I got carried away.
Yeah.
I got carried away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Run-on sentences. He didn't say that. Run-on.
Yeah. That's an Andy sentence. Yeah. So basically, this is one of the 2 games I'm going to pass on here. The prop lines are very weird for this one. I was looking at the rebounds. James Harden, he's gone over his rebound line his last 7 to 8 games. Kawhi, his last 7 to 8 games. George, his last 7 to 8 games. I don't know exactly what that indicates, but the last time I saw lines like that was for Utah against the Celtics, and we saw what happened there.
And it was a blowout,
Just
right?
An absolute mess of a blowout. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like everybody loves some Detroit Pistons right now. Rightfully so. But I don't know. I'm just feeling weird about this one. There's a system I found on Twitter. Some trend thing tweeted it out. There's a system that's 33-4-1 since 2018 that backs the Clippers tonight. So I'm gonna stay away from this one.
Did you scroll back and verify that system?
It's this account called Trend Center. They've led me pretty.
Oh, I actually know that account.
I've
actually know that account. That's not a bad.
Yeah, account. I don't think it's some random schmo just tweeting that off. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it for its merit.
So you would lean Clippers because of the tweet.
Because of the trend, baby.
I'll put it up
with the Clips.
You're gonna rock. You're gonna rock with that under your face, Clipper. You're laying 12 points to the Pistons. You're doing that.
Harden better be motivated today. That's all I got to say.
Boston, do you have a lean in this one?
No, I'm with you, Sauce. The slightest of leans. This is, I feel like I'm going to be a broken record here, but this is exactly what I just talked about with Miami. It's a number that, yes, you have a better team on one side, but the number is just way too big. Would it surprise me if the Clippers go out there and just pump them by 30? No, this Clippers team is really good. They're such a, you can't even call them a dark horse anymore. They've really come along to be one of the best teams actively in the league. So, I don't even hate Prop Beaver you going with Clippers minus 12. This is almost like throw it up in the air and close your eyes and try and catch it in terms of predicting this game. But my gut just says, hey, Detroit good against the spread recently at home. Everyone probably, loves the Clippers just because of how well they've been playing. Give me the opposite side of that.
Sounds good. We're on the same page. Prop Beaver on his own little Twitter Clipper island.
Did you say 33-4 since 2018?
That's what he said.
That's not
33.
That's not that many.
2018.
I feel like that's a really small amount for 6 years of sample size.
It's quite the system, I'll tell you.
All right, fair enough. I can't knock.
Yeah, it had like 50 different parameters. So
They must
yeah.
put out a play like once every 3 or 4 weeks or something.
Gotcha.
No, I mean, no, they have different systems.
Well, I
that
mean,
they
simple
tweet out.
math would tell you that they put out a play every 3
Yeah.
or 4 weeks. But anyway, 55%, 33%. We're a Pistons community. You guys voting for the Pistons. All right. 55% of you said you'd take the 12 with Detroit. Shipley starting a riot in the comments, trying to start a Pistons nation.
Of course. Guy's got an addiction.
You know what Shipley talked me into in the Discord right before we went live? I put down it was small bet, Hornets money line, Pistons money line parlay.
That's true. The grossest thing I've ever heard.
I know. He gets you riled up. He's like, gosh, like he gets you
He's
fired
passionate.
up.
I'll give him that.
He's a passionate guy. So Hawks plus 3.5, over 249, under 249. Anyone want to go first on this one?
I will, I guess. I mean, I don't mind Atlanta here. I think that it's a scary spot. It's like, why the hell would you bet the Hawks? One of the worst, if not, they are actually the worst against the spread team this year, right? And then at home, they're terrible. But, I haven't been able to really see, this sounds too corny, but like 48 minutes of play out of Phoenix in a while. They're playing good basketball, but that's like if you just look at their game logs and look at their win-loss. Like this team hasn't fully like fired on all cylinders yet. I'm not saying Phoenix isn't going to be good. They have some of the top talent in the league. If those guys jive, they're pretty good. But, this spread, the fact that it's only 3.5, as well as the Suns have been playing and as kind of poorly as Atlanta's been playing, kind of shocked there. And I'm just trusting the line at that point. Like this, if I were to just guess, blindly, should have been maybe a 6.5 or something like that based on where these two teams have been. It's 3.5. I'm trusting that. I think it's moved even. I think it was 4 at one point. So moved down a little bit. Yeah,
I actually saw PointsBet's got it at 3 right now. So you're right. It's moving towards Atlanta, 100%.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more. Hawks for me. I actually bet the money line as well. I split my money, put half on the 3.5, half on the money line. First of all, obviously we all have it in our heads, like fade the Hawks, right? We're all looking at that disgusting record against the spread. They are 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 at home. Now that's not good. What I'm saying is the auto fade of Atlanta, that's a trend of the past. I mean, not that they've been good against the spread, but they're no longer a blind auto fade. That's number one. Number two, I kind of like the matchup for the Hawks here. I think they're going to have the rebounding edge on both sides of the court. They should get second chance opportunities on offense, and they should limit the Suns' second chance opportunities. And look, Phoenix has done a really good job defending the mid-range shot, which is what all the Suns scorers, they like to shoot from there. Booker, Beal, Durant, they love taking those mid-range shots. Hawks in the last 10 games I think they're second or third in defensive efficiency against the mid-range shot. What's the weakness of the Hawks defense? The perimeter. They struggle against the three-point shot. Suns don't take many three-point shots. So I actually think it's a favorable matchup for the Hawks as well. I know the public's going to flood in on the Suns. Everyone's kind of feeling the Suns, and rightfully so. I mean, I took the Nets against Phoenix the other night. You all know the tragic end to that. That was a tough loss. But I'm fading them again. Give me Hawks plus 3.5. I'm with Boston. Prop
Yep,
diva.
add me to it. I'm also on the Hawks here. Just purely a play on, I guess, everything you guys were saying, you pretty much encapsulated, but also just historically, the Suns team has had a really tough time covering against Atlanta. 3-7 their last 10, 0-5 their last 5 trips to Atlanta. And we know that Atlanta's horrendous against the spread at home this season. The worst team in the NBA against the spread at home. But we're starting to see some signs of life there. 4-6 against the spread their last 10. I believe it's like 2-20 plus something in their previous games against the spread at home. So we're starting to see signs of life from them at home. That has to come around sometime. And the books are, as kind of Guy Boston was saying, they're making a statement with this line because it does feel short and it just keeps getting shorter. They want people on Phoenix. So I'm going to fade the public here. Going to ride with the Hawks to get it done.
We just swept
you have a mad Trae Young. A mad Trae Young. He's wants
mad
to be an all-star, not an all-star.
Exactly.
He might go and play well tonight too.
Did Maxey make the all-star, or was that a snub performance? Like he got snubbed? That's what that was?
No, I think he made it.
He did make it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That just shows you how closely I follow the all-star. I could care less. Our polls on the Suns, as expected. Phoenix has been winning a lot of games. They haven't been covering the number as much as you think, though. I think they're just 4-3 against the spread in their last 7. 54%, 32% Phoenix. Next. Cruising right along. Sacramento at Indiana. Kings at Pacers. This line's now at 4. When I started recording the video last night, it was 2. As I was recording, I looked and I saw 2.5 and 3. And now we got 4. So no question, the line has been on a clear path here towards Sacramento. Now, has Halliburton officially been ruled out? Let me check. Halliburton. No, him. Oh, wow. Miles Turner is now questionable. He wasn't questionable last night. Well, you guys already know what I'm on because I put it in the YouTube video last night, shared in the Discord. I'm on the Kings. I got it at 3. This graphic says 3.5. I'd take it there. I'd still take it at 4. Kings, as we know, dating back to last season, one of the best road teams in the NBA. Pacers on a back-to-back with injuries looming. I know the Kings just bit me in the ass in Miami the other night. But honestly, I'm chalking that more up to Miami finally showing up and having a great game rather than the Kings folding. I think this is a good spot for them. Also, the matchup. What both these teams, well, let's start with the Pacers offense. They love to attack the rim. That plays into the strength of the Kings defense. The Kings are kind of branded as a team that doesn't play defense. That's true outside of the interior. But actually, they have great numbers at the basket. That's not a good matchup for the Pacers. They like to attack the rim a lot. And same thing on the other side, except the opposite. Pacers have been getting eaten alive on the interior. Kings have some guys that can score inside. So I like the matchup for the Kings. I like the line movement. I like the spot. I like everything for the Kings. I'm on the Kings here. Boston Beaver.
Yeah, I'm on the same side.
There we go.
Okay, you go, guy.
Nothing too crazy. Pretty much spelled it out. I do think that Sacramento's a better team, even with a banged up Halliburton. Like when he say he's healthy, the 10 minutes that he doesn't play on the floor, like this Indiana team struggles so much without him, and this is a revenge spot. I think they played earlier, right? You see Pacers winning that game. There's some sort of narrative with the trade of Sabonis and Halliburton and whatnot. I think the Kings better team. They come in revenge spot. They match up well. I also don't mind the under in this game. Kings probably, definitely more confident than the under, but I think that this is a Pacers team that has that pace of play sort of tag, which is true, but they've definitely slowed down a little bit and haven't been playing as well offensively without Halliburton. I know he's still a game time decision. Even if he plays, he's probably not getting a full allotment of minutes. So yeah, I don't mind the under here either.
Kings and under. Prop Beaver, it sounded like you were with Kings too, right?
No, actually, I kind of lean the Pacers, but even if Halliburton sits, but I would probably go. I want to go Pascal Siakam here. Only if Halliburton sits. Must preface that. Only if Halliburton sits, which I think he will tonight. I mean, he just played last night, even though he played 22 minutes. And this is a back-to-back, fresh off coming back from a re-aggravated hamstring issue. So he got injured, came back from a long leave of absence, played with Siakam the one game against Portland, then re-injured it, missed multiple more games. I think it'd be moronic for him to play tonight. So if you want to lock this in now, you could probably get great value when it's announced he's likely out. But I'm going to wait. This league is crazy. The main reason I like this so much is that in 5 games with the Pacers and Halliburton inactive, Siakam's 3-2 to the over. He's averaging 6.2 assists per game on 8.8 potential assists per game. So that's solid. And what stood out to me is that 21 of his 41 assists as a Pacer have come from three-point land. And as you were mentioning, Kyle, they're great at protecting the inside. But when it comes to protecting the perimeter, this team's god-awful. They're 27th in defensive three-point frequency and 30th in efficiency overall over the last month. And we have seen Siakam have a ton of success racking up the assists against the Kings. He's cashed 3 straight against them, averaging 7.3 with 6+ assists in each of those. And we've seen passing, playmaking forwards like Siakam cash against the Kings lately with relative ease. I mean, we just saw Jimmy Butler with 6, Draymond with 11, Giannis with 10, Buddy Hield with 8, which is nuts. So I just think that Siakam can join the bunch here. I'm hoping to get this at like 4.5 minus 130 because obviously the price would go up if Halliburton's announced out. But even if it goes to 5.5, I'll probably put like 0.75 units on it if I could get a good enough of a price in what should be a high-paced, high-scoring matchup here with the Pacers at home, where they're much better offensively.
All right. And so just make sure everyone sees the text. If Halliburton sits, that's what he's saying. And if you follow him on Twitter, he'll pull the trigger on it as soon as it's announced. He will let you know, like, bet it now. That's what he does.
Yes.
Matt Modi in the comments says he likes Sabonis triple-double. Maybe you take a swing on that one. Sports Center, did you give another lock, bro? Sports Center's hitting 3 of his hammer locks in the comments in a row. I think everyone's waiting for another Sports Center lock. Hopefully I didn't miss it. If Sports Center puts his hammer lock in the comments, just people let me know so I can let everybody know. 3 in a row, going for 4. All right. So me and Boston both on the Kings. And the community is slightly leaning towards the Kings. Kind of split. 45%, 39%. So slight win for the Kings. Definitely a lot of people out there taking Indiana in the spot. All right, let's move on to Charlotte, Oklahoma City. Well, it's down to 15.5, though. I saw when I first was about to record this last night, I was seeing 17s. So then it was 16.5. Then it was 16. Now it's 15.5. I mean, now keep in mind in these games when you're dealing with a huge number, the movement from 16.5 to 16 is not nearly as significant as the movement from 4.5 to 5. Like, it's not nearly the frequency that the winning margin is. That it's such a small amount. So like that movement isn't. Don't read too much into it, is what I'm saying. So we're gonna run the poll at 15.5. And this one, I'll go first. This one actually will be 2 or 3 sentences, I promise. I'm on Charlotte, and it's because of a simple trend. For some reason, Oklahoma City just can't deal with these guys. OKC, 0-6 against the spread in Charlotte's last 6 trips to Oklahoma City. So you want to know the last time the Thunder have covered a spread at home against the Hornets? 2016. 6 in a row. And not just in Oklahoma City either. They've struggled with them in Charlotte. Now, this Hornets team with all the injuries is completely different. You know what I mean? It's like, how is that even relevant? I get if you're making that point, I get it. But 16.5 points with a team that they haven't covered a number in 8 years, sure. I didn't put this on the ticket, but like, this is where I would go. Definitely, I wouldn't lay the big number here. Charlotte or pass for me.
Yeah, I got a player prop in this one. I'm going with Josh Giddey over 23.5.
Wait, you're taking it. Oh, you hate taking overs in potential blowout spots. You hate that.
Well, guess what? Josh Giddey in blowouts has been wildly profitable this season.
Really?
12-6 in 10-plus point victories, averaging 25 PRAs, 7-4 at home, averaging 27 PRAs. So right there, that's the elephant in the room. Blowout over. Usually don't mesh. In Josh Giddey's case, it does. And I really like this because keep that in mind, and now take into account that there's no Isaiah Joe and there's no Jalen Williams in this game. That opens up A, more minutes for him, and B, more usage for him against a Charlotte team that he's dominated in the past. He has 33, 34, and 50 PRAs through 3 meetings against Charlotte. And in 4 games without Jalen Williams this season, yes, he's 1-3 to the over. Not great, averaging 20 PRAs, but he saw 25.6 minutes per game. He saw 10.5 field goal attempts per game. The main issue was that he shot 30% from the floor. I mean, Josh Giddey's not a great shooter, but Jesus Christ, 30% is rock bottom. I think that has to come up. With 22-plus minutes on one-day rest and SGA this season, Giddey's cashed his last 10 of 16. And I just think that this is too low a number. They're discounting it for the blowout. But as I just said, with the blowouts, he's still productive. And yeah, I just think he could do it all in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a double-double on the glass. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a double-double with the assist. So I just combined it all, hoping for a productive game from Giddey here against a discombobulated Hornets team.
Also, I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy to think that this one might not be a blowout with.
I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll actually be relatively like a 12-point loss for the Hornets. That's what I'm thinking.
Boston, you have any looks in this one?
Not really. This was genuinely one, especially when I was doing my video this morning. I'm just, just passing on it. I don't mind that Giddey one. You kind of sold me there, prop. I think that's a good look. I love hearing the, in blowouts, Giddey cashes it. And if this isn't a blowout, it just helps it even more. So you know what?
Exactly, dude.
Put that on mine if you want. I like that. I'm with him. I'm riding.
Cool. I didn't bet mine, by the way. The only thing I bet here was that stupid Pistons Hornets moneyline parlay that Shipley talked me into. Real quick, but before we move on to the next game, I got it in from Sports Center. He posted it in the comments. Going for 4 in a row here. Quinnipiac. Wow. Hammerlock from Sports Center going for 4 in a row. You know what? Last time there was some confusion. So he's an against the spread better. So I'm going to get you the spread right now so you know exactly what his lock is. Most people understand that this is an against the spread channel for the most part, but just in case people don't. -6.5. So Quinnipiac -6.5 is Sports Better's Haberlock. He's going for 4 in a row. I'll tail. Next.
Interesting character, the Sports Center.
Yeah,
His name is Sports Center on YouTube, and he has a baby as his profile picture.
I know. He's one of a kind,
For
that
that reason,
Sports
I'm
Center.
tailing.
But he's a fan favorite, man. They love him in the comments.
No, I mean, I appreciate his viewership. Keep rocking, Sports Center.
56%, 30% Hornets. So the community is leaning towards Hornets in the points there. All right. Golden State at Memphis. Kind of curious to see where Boston's leaning on this one. Any chance you want to take the lead and lead this one off?
Sure. It's not something that I love, but I'm actually going to be looking at Golden State here. Just, I guess, Memphis on. It's not something that I love, like I said. So don't get too. If anyone's in the chat or either you guys are on Memphis, like feel free. I kind of see that, but I just don't. I can't trust this Memphis team, even though they've been like a lock against the spread as of late. I don't know if it's possible to cover 1 million games in a row, but they might do it. But it's just back-to-back spot. I don't love it for them. I can't trust that everyone and their grandma's ex-boyfriend is injured. So give me the Warriors. Warriors not like the most trustworthy team here, but 75% of the games this year when they have a rest advantage they've covered in. Just something that I'm considering.
This is a pass for me, but I would actually lean the other way. I'm going to put Memphis plus 8.5 under my face here. Gun to my head if you force me to bet it. Golden State also has struggled with Memphis. Grizzlies 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 against the Warriors. Now, who the hell was playing in those games that are, you know what I mean? Like this team that's going to be out there for the Grizzlies tonight. But if you're looking for angles for Memphis, they force a lot of turnovers. Golden State always have turnover problems every year. Memphis has been shooting a lot above the break threes. Guys like Vince Williams are taking those shots. Golden State has struggled to defend that. Now, I mean, dude, the guys that are going to be on the court, like I said, this is a pass, so I don't even want to talk about it any longer. It's just, if I was forced to bet it, I would go here.
It's another one of those numbers for me where it's like, it's too big really for, some sort of a final play with Golden State. But then even, I guess, from your standpoint, if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, well, 8.5 just doesn't seem like it's enough. For
right.
Memphis. So it's like, it's yeah. It's one of those
I'm
games.
taking the Grizzlies. This team couldn't not cover if they tried. I mean, they are just like, it makes no sense. They can throw anybody out there right now, and they're going ahead and they're going to cover the number that night. This is a team just continues to cover every single night. The Warriors, I do think they're on a bit of an uprise. They are looking a bit better lately since the unfortunate passing of their coach. I will say they do look rejuvenated. But just like the history going for the Grizzlies hot streak covering the spread right now. I also like the fact that the Grizzlies, whatever players they have going tonight, they rely on the long ball quite a bit. And this has been a really big area weakness for Golden State lately. 24th in frequency and 25th in efficiency above the break the last 10 games, 23rd in frequency and 20th in efficiency on the quarter in the last 10 games. And you got Memphis, who's 4th in above the break frequency, 10th in corner frequency. So they've been living off the three ball. And I just think that if they're even going in at a somewhat decent rate tonight, they're playing good defense, then I think they could keep this one competitive. It's disgusting. It's gross. But until the Grizzlies give me a reason to not bet them, which they do every night with that lineup, I'm just going to keep playing it.
Well, so the injury report for Memphis is a little different than when I looked at early this morning, last night. So Conchar is playing. He was questionable. Luke Kennard is questionable. I thought he was out originally. So might get Kennard back.
My Twitter keeps showing tweets from yesterday, and I think that Kennard's out, but I have no clue if he is out because
according
of Twitter's stupid algorithm.
According to RotoWire, he's questionable. Not that RotoWire's never been wrong before.
I mean, if he returns for this, that would be actually pretty big.
Yeah,
because he is that outside shooter that I was just talking about. So
right. Because you look at the angle, you're like, oh, Memphis has been shooting above the break threes. They should shoot him. And then you look at the roster, you're like, but who's shooting them?
I was looking at Vince Williams' line today too, and that seemed really, really low for what he's been putting up lately in terms of offensive production. So maybe that's a hint that Kennard is coming back in this game. The books always know, and I feel like they kind of give out those hints with the prop lines.
Okay. So our poll pretty much dead split on this one. 45% Warriors, 43% Grizzlies. So Warriors do win the poll, but it looks like the community split down the middle here. Next. Toronto at Houston. I'm still waiting on the injuries for this one. I want to bet the Rockets, straight up. I want to bet the Rockets, but a couple things are hindering me here. Let me get the poll running. So I like how the Rockets play great defense underneath. I like how the Rockets attack the rim a lot, and the Raptors have been getting crushed down there. I like the Rockets at home coming off that ugly loss to the Pelicans without Zion. I like the spot for the Rockets. The Raptors have been so bad recently. They stole one against the Bulls, but as a whole, they've been so bad. There's so many reasons here that I want to bet the Rockets. But then the line drops from 5.5 to 4, and I kind of have that Tyrese Maxey thing from last night ringing in my head where it's like, I bet the Jazz way in advance. Then Tyrese Maxey gets ruled in 2 hours before tip. Is that going to happen here with Barrett, Quickly, and Pirtle, where I'm sitting on a Houston -4 ticket and all of a sudden it's 2 at tip and the Raptors win? I'm a little scared off right now, but I'm going to put in front of under my face. I'm going to put the Rockets because that's the way I would go, and that's the way I want to go. I want to bet the Rockets, just haven't yet. I'm just waiting out until I see injury reports. This will probably be one that I bet like really close to the start of the game, just because Tyrese Maxey, man, I'm having nightmare flashbacks here of what happened last night. Not only did he get ruled in at the last minute, but he had a career night on top of it. So I'm gonna get to Houston somehow. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page. Okay. The injuries in this game, it's just like it's pretty important to know if these guys are playing or not. I believe that Alperen Sengun is gonna go. I'm not sure though, because I thought it was more so questionable. He was at shoot around, but he was also feeling really sick, so like I don't really know what's gonna happen there. And then on the Toronto side, obviously, Quickly, Barrett, and Podol's pretty massive because the rim protection and the rebounding
numbers,
for them without Podol, so he could be returning. And then on top of that, Quickly was pushing the pace with that team. Without him, they haven't been quite as fast, so that adjusts the pace of this game as well. Just a lot of things kind of resting on these injuries. The one thing I did write down that I'm leaning towards right now is Jabari Smith over rebounds. Forwards have been doing numbers on the glass against Toronto lately. Sadiq Bey just had 13. Jalen Johnson had 12 in the same game. Roddy had 9. Randall had 16. I could go on for days. And just the Raptors' last 8 games where they're getting absolutely crushed on the glass. Not so much by centers because I think they're doubling in the boxing out, but the forwards are killing them. And Jabari Smith has grabbed 9+ rebounds in 6 to 7 games without Sengun. So if Sengun misses, that's a nice opportunity there. If Sengun does play, though, I think it's a nice buy low spot for Smith as well. Because last game, he had 1 rebound against the Pelicans. If you know Jabari Smith Jr., that is not a typical output for him. He played 22 minutes. He shot 0-6 from the floor. It was ugly. And the Rockets as a whole last game got out-rebounded 56-29. So I think that Udoka is going to really emphasize that this game. And I think we should see a bounce back in a pretty great spot. He had 8 and 10 the last 2 times he faced off against Toronto. I'm kind of just hoping that we could get Sengun rolled in, give me a lower price on Smith, and then get Podol ruled out so that the trend continues where the forwards are eating on the glass against them. Again, got to wait because this sport, man, I love it. I love not knowing who's going to play every fucking night. I love it. It's the best.
Boston, you have a move here.
Yeah, I'm just looking slightly at the under. I guess it kind of aligns with Houston -4.5. When they're at home, they do play well defensively. Their games have, I believe they've hit more than half their overs recently, I want to say in the last 10 or so. But Houston's played a lot of road games as of late. When they're at home, they do play good defense. And I don't think Toronto, almost regardless of who's playing, I don't really see how they have an easy time scoring. And when there's games where I see that, or at least that matchup on one side, for a number that's at 230, I think it's at 232.5 now, just seems a little high to me. Looking at how the line's moving, it kind of makes me scared to go and play that, because it's like, why are they just allowing this and making it higher and higher? So there's something to be said for that, but kind of gut instincts here. Give me the under.
Yeah, I don't hate it under there. Looks like Matt Modai said Fred VanVleet over 15.5 points, prop beaver. So he's on.
Yeah, definitely don't mind that revenge game narrative. Raptors defense against point guards has fallen apart a bit lately. I'm just worried about him being passive, because we've seen that a lot from him lately. And Jalen Green has been excellent.
Is this his first game against the Raptors?
Yes, first game against the Raptors. Some guys take that shit seriously.
Yeah, some don't. Yeah,
just act like every other game. So like, I don't know. I usually like to wait until the second revenge game and then kind of plot.
Gauge how the first one went.
Yeah.
Also, it's in Houston. If it was like in front of the Toronto fans, maybe.
Yeah.
So our poll definitely on Houston there. 59%, 27%. So community heavy on the Rockets there. And that's why the line movement's so terrifying, because obviously the Houston's going to be the square side here, which doesn't scare me off of anything. It's just I really wish that line would have just stayed strong at 5.5. I feel like I'd like it a little bit better. That makes me think that quickly Barron and Pirtle are all going to play. So a little scared there. Orlando at Minnesota. Got some CLV on this one. I gave it out last night at 7.5. I bet it at 7.5. Put it in the Discord at 7.5. 1 point of CLV. That's how it's done. Now, that probably means I lose, judging by how things have gone recently. But I think the story of this one is the total, 211.5. Way down there, looking like a 1999 NBA game total. Boston, want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, nothing much again. I keep saying that, but I don't mind the over just because of how low that number is. I don't think I'm going to play it, but it's almost like that dangly, carrot in front of me. I'm like, it's baiting me, and I might take it. But I do think that there are some spots in the floor where both teams can kind of excel and score on one another. That being said, both teams are good defensively at the same time. So I see why this line is as low as it is. But again, it might just be that like dangly thing in front of me that I got to touch. Like I might have to touch the button.
Yeah.
So over, but it's just because that line is so damn low.
Yeah, I mean, 211.5. Maybe odds makers overplayed their hand a little bit, making it so low. So I'm actually, probably if you want to go first.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Guy Boston. I feel like half the times when I see these teams that are like, oh, well, this team's 8-0 to the under in their last 8, and this team's 6-2 to the under their last 8, and they face off. It's like, oh, well, it's got to be a low-scoring game. And then they're playing high pace, they're making the shots, and you got a total. It's like 230, and you're like, what goes on here? So I like that over. I think where I would lean in this game, definitely don't love it, but I would lean it. Magic plus 6.5. These teams just basically operate exactly the same. I mean, they're both offenses that turn over the ball often, but have defenses that create turnovers at a high rate. They're both offenses that are great at drawing foul shots, but they're defenses that allow foul shots at a high rate. Both of them like to attack the rim, and both of them have strong rim defenses. So I'm just going to take the one who's getting points and who covers at a high rate. I could see I messed up the graphic there. Sorry, Kyle. It's supposed to be Orlando plus 6.5.
God damn it.
With Magic here.
Alternate line for some nice plus money.
I'll alt it. Fuck it, bro.
So I'm on the same side. This isn't a lean. It's not minus 6.5. It's plus 6.5. This isn't a lean though. I'm in on this. I also have the Magic money line. So what they said is spot on. Well, actually, what Prop Beaver said about the defenses match up. The way these defenses match up with each other is perfect for both sides. Orlando loves to attack the rim. You're going to try to score baskets at the rim on Minnesota's defense in Minnesota. I mean, judging by the season sample size, that's almost an impossible task. But on the other side, Minnesota's been terrible protecting the basketball, and the Magic defense rip turnovers. Like Jalen Suggs on the perimeter, if you're even the slightest bit careless with the ball, they will rip it from you. So I expect the Magic to create a lot of problems for the Minnesota offense. And look, this total's at 211.5. Gives you an idea of what kind of game the odds makers are expecting, and I agree. A low-scoring, ugly defensive game, and I'm holding. Actually, I got it at 7.5. I'm holding 7.5 extra points in my pocket in what I think could be a 109-108 final, like a real low-scoring game. 108-108 is low-scoring in today's NBA, by the way. So yeah, I like my position on Magic plus 7.5. I also got a bet on the money line. And also I think both these teams as a whole, and I'm not talking about today as this individual spot, but I think as far as where we are in the season, if we take a step back, I think both these teams, I think Orlando might be a bit of a buy low spot because they were dealing with all those injuries, and it's kind of like everyone forgot how good Orlando was earlier in the season. Everyone kind of forgot that, and now they're healthy again, and I think they'll be closer towards that 5-6 seed spot in the Eastern Conference when it's all said and done. They were, remember, 20 games, 25 games in the season, they were the 2 seed. They were looking awesome. Then they had a bunch of injuries. They actually had a bunch of injuries early as well. And then on the Minnesota side, look, they're sitting up there in the 1 or 2 seed in the West, but do we really think they're that good? They were so dominant at home in the beginning of the season. They faded a bit. I just think we're in a little bit of a sell high spot for Minnesota. Again, not in this particular spot, just as a whole with where we are on the season. Like if I'm buying stock, I'm buying up Orlando stock right now and selling my Minnesota stock. So if that made any sense to anyone, that's kind of how the feel I have for these two teams right now. So holding a plus 7.5 ticket, I'm pretty comfortable.
One last thing I want to add.
Minnesota thing is, go ahead.
Gobert did get added to the injury report.
Oh, shit.
So, and that's usually not a great sign. So if he sits out, that is pretty massive for us.
Especially with what Orlando wants to do offensively. That's beautiful. Banchero's over, baby.
Banchero would be nice. Naz Reid cannot handle the offense protecting the rim.
No slander of Naz Reid, bro. Asbury Park, New Jersey.
I love Naz Reid, but defense is not his specialty.
Yeah. Bossy, you said you agreed with my Minnesota sell high take.
Yeah, the Orlando, I still need a little bit of nudging to get there in terms of like buying into, but Minnesota, I think I was saying in some of my videos, even while they're playing really well, it's like this team has almost like the potential to be an Anthony Edwards and cast team, where that isn't how they're going to excel or push, the limit of being one of these better teams. Like at any time they can turn into, Karl Anthony Towns stands in the corner. Gobert's not even involved in the game almost, and it's an Anthony Edwards show. So that isn't a recipe for like a really good team, especially a team that like relies on defense. So I'm almost like have sold the Timberwolves, not in the sense of I think they're terrible and all that, but like for like postseason aspirations and whatnot, I'm not big. It's not even halfway through the year and I'm already kind of like off the wow, they're so good and all that. So I'm with you there.
Yeah. See, I agree with exactly what you said. Someone had said in the comments, you guys have no faith in the number one team at home. That kind of solidifies what I'm saying. They were so excellent at home in October, November, December. But if you look at the last month and a half, they're below 500 against the spread at home. They win games. They don't always cover the numbers. But anyway, our poll heavy on the Magic there. 55% said they're taking the points with Orlando next game. Pelicans at Spurs. I had no idea what to do here. I will say the trends in this one are a little alarming. For those of you who didn't watch last night's video, Spurs 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 matchups against the Pelicans. 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 home games against the Pelicans. So New Orleans has had 0 problems going on the road to San Antonio and handling this lowly Spurs team. These are division rivals. It's been extremely one-sided recently. That being said, am I jumping at the bits to lay 7 here with New Orleans? Or 8 now. It's at 8. No, but I'll put it up under my face so something's there. One sec. Here we go. I'll put it up under my face so you know what I would bet. Wow, it's at 8.5 now? Prop even made the graphic at 8.5. Let me check. Pelicans.
Yeah. When I first made it, it was 8, and then I readjusted it because the line
it's 8.5 now. Holy shit. I mean, when I made the video last night, I said Pelicans -7 or pass. That's what I said. Now we're at 8.5. They're really testing me here. I guess Pelicans still, but I'm not even going to waste your time talking about it because there's just no way I place a bet on this.
Yeah, this is one of my 2 passes. I just don't really love anything in this game. I was leaning Jonas Valanciunas over points and rebounds, but with Zion on the court, it's so hard to predict the usage and the minutes for him. I was kind of hoping he would sit this one, but he was present at shoot around, so him and Herb will both likely be going tonight, which is big for a Pelicans bet. Yeah, that's all I got.
Mr. Boston.
Devin Vassell over.
Right.
I've seen it. I've seen it gone back down to 19.5 now too, but anywhere up to probably 21.5. I like Devin Vassell's spot here. Keldon Johnson looks like he's unlikely to play too. There's some shots that can go Vassell's way. This really came down to initially identifying as Vassell, a guy that loves the mid-range, New Orleans defensive flaw, mid-range there, at least in the last 10 games and 5 games. So yeah, I like his spot here. Should be able to do it at the house. He's hit this in 61 or 60% of games this season at home. So Devin Vassell, give me the points.
Devin Vassell over 20.5 points. All right. Prop Beaver, would you co-sign that?
Yeah, I do co-sign. I was taking a look at it because the Pelicans' defense against a three ball lately has just gone to complete shit. Over the last 10 games, I think they're bottom 10 in both frequency and efficiency above the break. And what Vassell really does is he doesn't really attack the rim. He doesn't really attack the paint. I think it's like 61% or maybe 65% of his shots are coming from long mid-range above the break and the corner three. And that's really been the weakness for the Pelicans. That's where they're funneling shots to. So it is kind of a perfect game for at least him to get volume, and that's really all you can cap these days.
Yeah,
and it's the Spurs, so I mean, it's anything can happen. So that's
Pop in
tough
those
part.
rotations, man. He makes me. I want to scrap that old man.
He might take
Had
you.
enough
He's
of
got that old man
He's
strength.
got the size. I'm not like that either.
you just
You
said
could probably wash me, but I'd have to
You're
try.
not that guy, pal. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You said I want to scrap Popovich.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I'd win. It'd be embarrassing losing, but I
You start losing, I'll jump in.
These days. Yeah,
You would lose.
I got
bro.
support.
Popovich. I want to scrap that old man. All right, our poll's heavy on New Orleans. 58%, 27% Pelicans. Oh, man. I'm waiting for the comments to come in, talk about how Popovich would beat your ass. I'm waiting for it.
It's coming.
Pull on
I
that.
know. You know they're coming.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Popovich would destroy you. All right. Blazers, Nuggets. Total all the way down to 219.5. So when I recorded the video last night, I said under 223.5. Now we're at 219. And of course, I didn't actually bet it. I just gave it out on YouTube thinking, whatever. Like, I'm good. 223. That's not going to go down. It's all the way down to 219.5. I don't even know if I'd still take the under at this point. But yeah, so this is another bet where the trends are too overwhelming for me not to take it. But obviously, I'm assuming these guys are probably going to be in the same boat, that we can't really make final decisions until we know Jokic. He's listed as questionable. So I would bet Denver here, but just because Portland never covers in Denver. Like 0-6 against the spread in their last 6. Nuggets just own the Blazers. But I didn't bet this. I don't know if I even plan to, so I'm not going to waste your time talking about it.
For this one, I'm going with DeAndre Ayton over 14.5 points, going right back to dominating, as he self-proclaimed, because I think it's a great matchup here offensively against Jokic, or maybe not Jokic. We don't know if he's playing yet. He's been surging his last 5 games. He's averaging 19.6 points per game, 36 minutes, and 15 field goal attempts in those games, cashing all 5. Now going to face a Denver defense that's main weakness is limiting centers. Over the last 30 days, they've allowed the 3rd most points per game. 2 centers. Just looking at the way that this Denver defense has been constructed as of lately, what they're doing is they're funneling looks away from the perimeter. I believe they're top 10 in both corner and above the break frequency over the last 10 games, and top 10 in efficiency in both of those. So not wise to shoot from outside against Denver. And that's great for us because Ayton hasn't attempted a 3-point shot this year. In fact, 61% of his shots are coming from mid-range, 90th percentile. And over the last 3 weeks, that has been Denver's main weakness. They're 24th in frequency and 18th in efficiency against the mid-range. And Ayton has great history against Jokic. He's now cashed his last 9 regular season bouts against him, averaging 22.4 points per game. I mentioned the increased volume earlier, 15 field goal attempts his last 5 games, with just 10 plus this season and 1 day rest. He's 10-1, averaging 18.5. Obviously, the big concern, the elephant in the room, the blowout. Big spread here. But we've seen centers have no issue cashing at Denver, where they're always big favorites. I mean, Brook Lopez just had 19. Valanciunas had 17.
They weren't big favorites in the Bucks game, though. That's a bad example.
Okay. Joe Val, big dog.
They were
17.
laying like 9. Yep.
Jalen Duren, massive dog, 20. Mo Wagner, 19 points, massive dog.
I believe
there.
it's Wagner.
Nick Richards, 15 points, massive dog there. They're all hitting.
Okay, you made your point. Okay, you made your point.
Yes, I think Ayton's gonna hit.
I like that. It was good reasoning. I just thought Brook Lopez was a terrible example. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, just watch your mouth. Thank you.
Boston, do you dare make a play in this game before knowing the status of Nikola Jokic?
Yeah, I actually do. I don't mind the under 219.5. I definitely don't like it. I got it at 221.5. I don't mind 219.5, but it's definitely obviously moving in the opposite direction of the number that I'd like. I don't know if it'll matter that much if Jokic, and I think Murray was at one point on the injury report. I don't know if he still is. Even if they do or don't play, I think I still envision this being a slow-paced game. Denver at home. Yes, no Jokic is going to look and comprise that team completely differently, but I still don't mind the spot for the under here. I could see this being a really low-scoring game, which I guess would also make me maybe potentially lean Portland, but I definitely can't get myself there. So the under is where I'm going to sit on this one.
Yeah, Portland came in clutch for me against the Bucks the other night in Milwaukee. I was having a rough night, and they were the last game, and I got a nice cash on Portland. I don't really know if I want to push my luck.
You can't tempt fate. You can't push it. Nope.
So 44%, 34%. So the community voted for the Nuggets, but it's not a wash. A lot of people out there betting the Blazers. So how about a quick community parlay before we close? And Boston probably doesn't know what the community parlay is. So it's not up to us, it's the community. I put the options up there, they vote, and then we all place and lose a parlay together. Well, actually it hit the other night.
Whoa.
So we got Heat money line, Clippers, Pistons. They voted for the Pistons.
They're super sharp, these parlays.
They're the chalkiest things ever. Suns, Hawks, they voted. All right. Go ahead, cast your votes. Vote for the first leg of the community parlay. Shipley, stop it. No one's voting for Pistons money line over the Clippers. Just stop it. He says Pistons.
Hornets,
Hornets
you know
should
the drill.
not
be in there. I mean the Thunder should not be in there. I don't know if they're.
No, they voted for the Hornets.
Thank Christ.
Oh, it looks like this is a close vote actually. Bob. So the community parlay. I don't know if it started 4-1. It was cold, and then it hit 3 out of 4. That was the hot streak. It hit 3 out of 4. Then it missed a few, and then it hit a couple more times. I think it's hit one of the last 3. I think that sounds about right. I don't know. I probably should keep track of it, but it's more just like a fun parlay. It's not really something like I don't think anyone would be like, this is really good betting advice. It's more just like some bullshit that we have fun with.
Certainly not.
So it looks like Heat money line is going to be the first leg. So we're starting off nice and chalky, just how Prop Beaver likes it.
Yes.
So here's last
Keep
night.
it going, guys.
Who blew last night's? The Pacers lost. The Jazz lost. Tulane lost. Shit almost went 0-4.
Oh, it's a good it's a good
She gets something for that. She gets something for that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
right?
Yeah.
The reverse sweep. So Heat money line is the first leg. Second place finisher was Suns money line. So if you voted for the Suns, you'll get another chance on that. We got Hornets money line is in there. You guys voted for Hornets. Warriors, Grizzlies, Warriors won. Raptors, Rockets won. And Magic, T-Wolves, Magic won that poll. So a couple dog options in here. But I'm going to guess and say Warriors probably win because it's the chalkiest selection on there.
Mm-hmm.
Pistons money line finishes dead last in the voting, Shipley. You can go back to doing whatever it is you do when you're not watching. He's here just to see Pistons money line. He's certain that the Pistons money line will get a shot in the community parlay one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
No, I don't think so, bro. We're halfway through the season.
You don't think late March they could get a play in over like the Hornets?
Yeah, but hold on. So not only do they have to play a home game against the Hornets where they'll be favored, but it also has to be a spot where like everyone's on the Pistons. They have to vote for them over other games. Like the Pistons win votes here and there, but then they have to win a second vote to get in. It's just I don't want to get his hopes up. He said one day.
No promises.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Someone just said Popovich by submission. I guess they're a few minutes behind.
Never.
Popovich
Never.
First round?
It chokes people out.
I was rookie of the year in wrestling my freshman year. There's no way he'd get the sub in on me. I put him in a friggin' 4-leg lock. Don't get me started.
4, 3, 2, 1, and poll. This is a close one. Warriors make it. The chalkiest selection. But Rockets money line will get another chance. So yeah, Heat money line, Warriors money line. So then Pelicans.
Let's add some Nuggets to our portfolio, guys.
Pelicans money line, Nuggets money line, and then the 2 second place finishers, Rockets money line. Oh my God, this is going to be a really chalky one. And Suns money line. This is going to be a disgusting one. But you know what? Last time that they had that stupid chalky one that was plus 238, I was making fun of the community and it cashed that night.
We were literally laughing.
Yeah, we were like, you guys are idiots, bunch of chalky squares, and then the shit hit. All right, looks like so first and second are going to complete the parlay. So the top 2 vote getters here. Oh, by the way, so in case, I'm assuming because you guys are on Sports Betting YouTube, you probably already know who Guy Boston is over here. But if you don't, make sure you subscribe to this channel. He does daily uploads similar to what I do. So if you like my content, you'll also like his. I'm pretty sure you just search Guy Boston Sports. It comes right up.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on. All right, so let's give it another 5 seconds. It looks like it's going to be Nuggets Pelicans, dude. Might be the chalkiest one we ever had. This might, dude.
I don't know. I'm hoping we could get it below.
I don't even think this hits even plus 200.
That would be awesome. So Pelicans and Nuggets.
Oh my God.
Wow, that is brutal, dude. Plus 140.
No way. This is the chalkiest community parlay we've ever had. You know what?
Welcome, Guy Boston. Yeah.
Let's do this every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually it lands in like the plus 400 range, but today, this is the chalkiest one we ever had. But again,
I don't know what it is about NBA too, because like MLB, we'd get some nice ones.
When we do the community parlay in the MLB, we get like plus 500s, plus 600s. I don't know what it is.
We're steadily below 400 these days in the NBA.
I know. But you know what? We had the same speech laughing at the community. It was plus 238 and it hit. But this is plus 140.
For 4 teams to win a basketball game.
Heat money line, Warriors money line, Pelicans money line, Nuggets money line. I'm so ashamed of this parlay that I don't even think I'm going to tweet out a screenshot of if it hits. Like being like embarrassed.
3 road favorites too. 3 massive road favorites.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
All
right. Thanks everyone for watching. Guy Boston Sports, thank you for joining. We'll get you back on soon hopefully if your schedule allows it. We've talked before, by the way, about him coming on. His schedule soon though, March 1st, you said, right? March 1st.
March 1st.
March 1st, his schedule opens up. He's officially, I don't know if this is something you're announcing, but good news.
Go for it.
Good. Yeah, he's officially gotten to the point where he can do this full time. So congratulations to that. As someone who's familiar with the grind, seriously, good shit, man. So hopefully moving forward, we'll be able to get him back here more often. Everyone, thanks for watching as always. We'll be back, not these guys, but I'll be back with Toast and Andy, Scoop. College basketball tomorrow morning, 10:30, live show. Everyone, let's have a good Friday night. Remember to bet responsibly. See you soon.